Good afternoon, students, and welcome to our ICT 9 Computer System Servicing Quarter 2 Week 1 discussion. So this will be the part 1 of this week's discussion. So for this week discussion, part 1, we will be talking about occupational health and safety policies and procedures. So what is Occupational Health and Safety, or OHS policy? So it is an information and communication technology, or ICT students should know how to behave when working in a computer laboratory, as well as to implement a safe way of accomplishing every task. Safety practices should be learned early and always adheres in working with any electrical and electronic device, including personal computers and its peripherals. So this is for your protection as well as to the people working with you and for the devices that you are using. So the basis for this process begins with occupational health and safety policies. Occupational safety and health, or OSH. So it is a planned system of working to prevent illness and injury where you work by recognizing and identifying hazards and risks. So health and safety procedure is the responsibility of all persons in the computer and technology industries. You must identify the hazards where you are working and decide how dangerous they are, so to eliminate the hazard or modify the risk that it presents. So that is all about the OHS or OSH. Okay, so now let's proceed to what is Occupational Health and Safety Standards. So each student has a responsibility to their colleagues and their organization to report and act upon any potential workplace hazard. So the student needs to be aware of the type of hazards that are possibly present in their work environment. So this is the procedure on how to for the hazard to be identified. So first, we need to identify the hazard, and second, clear the area close to the hazard. Then third, partition the hazard of or clearly identify the area to protect other people from harm. Then fourth, if the hazard is easily and safely cleared, then do so. Then if not, report the hazard to the appropriate person, such as teacher in charge, principal, etc., to obtain assistance. So that is only if you don't have the expertise on how to get rid of the hazard. Then finally, 6, following clearing of the hazard, fill out the correct documentation to assist in identifying improved practice to reduce further incidents of hazards. So we need to follow clearing out of hazard fill out with a correct documentation, so as to identify how to improve our practice in reducing the incidence of hazards. Okay, so all hazards must be reported using accidental report form. So this enables us to track the kinds of hazards we have in our workplace and take action where necessary to make it safer for all students and clients. So we have these kinds of hazards. We have physical hazards, which some of these are noise, projectiles, heating devices, or moving machinery accidents, or being slipped or sleeping. Then we have this electrical hazard. You may be electrocuted, so that's an example of electrical hazard. Any type of wire or any devices which may cause electricity. And then also we have chemical hazards. Then the mechanical hazards. Example of that is crushing, shearing, cutting, and severing, entanglement, trapping, impact, stabbing and puncture, friction, and fluid injection. So those are the types of hazards that we may be encountered in computer laboratory. So next, accidents reports. So forms are used to give specific data with regards to accidents happened in the laboratory during experiments. So accident reports contain the following details. So we have this, the name of the person injured, and then date and time of the accident, type of injury, first aid given, action taken to prevent further accidents. So these are the information that may contain or be contained in the accident reports. For us, if the person injured may be hospitalized, the doctor will have the information about the person injured. Okay, next, so this is a sample of the accident report sample. So we have the form number, then date, room number, year, section, name, type of injury, cause of injury, and then the remedy. Now let's talk about hazardous substance. So if the workplace hazard appears to be dangerous to staff and clients, and professional assistance is required. So this is what you are going to do. So when you have a workplace which is hazardous. So first is to call the supervisor or manager and advise them of the problem and the urgency of the matter. So next is depending on the risk, it may be called as an evacuation. So if there is a risky, you need to call an evacuation for all the staff or all the students in the computer laboratory. Then C, follow the evacuation procedure. You don't need to panic when there is risk on the computer laboratory, so that it will not cause havoc or any danger on your peers or the computer laboratory equipment, and etc. And then the supervisor or manager will call in the fire brigade or specialized personnel who will deal with the spill. So they will be the one to call the fire brigade or any personnel who are expert on getting the hazard get out, or they will get rid of it. So fire exits. All fire exits should be kept clear of from obstacles. So all students have a responsibility to make sure that chairs, empty boxes, or any other type of obstacle are not placed in or near fire exit doorways. So all corridors also need to have equipment stored on one side only to ensure that in the event of an emergency, there is a clear exit. So, and any establishment or let's say for in computer laboratory, it should have a fire exit, and this fire exit should have a clear way or does not have any particular obstacle which may cause for us not to exit properly. So we have this fire safety procedure. So each work area has a designated fire warden who in the event of a fire will take charge. So they are recognized by the wearing of a red hat. So if you find fire in the computer laboratory, so this is what you need to do. So first is to assess the danger prior to doing anything. So you need to assess, but you need not to think. You need to think quickly to assess the danger, so that you may be able to do anything after you assess. Then next is if it is safe to move, assist anyone in the vicinity of the fire away from danger. So if you can do it, if you can move quickly to assess anyone, so it would be good or helpful to um, make anything away from danger. So next is, if it is possible, close the door to the fire area. So you need to close the door where the fire is being kept, so that it will not burst or go into any other part of the area which has a fire. Then call for assistance. So verbally call fire in a loud, clear voice. So you need to call assistance if the fire is you cannot handle it anymore. You need to find help. So next is to break the glass section of the fire alert call point. So if there is a fire alert call point, you need to break it and call the fire alert. So next is to call to the switch. So ensure that you know where the fire is. Any other details that may be of assistance to the fire brigade, which will give them the point where they can put away the fire. So details could be size of the fire, so cause of or type of fire, and any people hurt or struck. Has anyone tried to put it out? So if safe to do so, attack the fire with the correct extinguisher or fire hose. So if you can do it, just put out the fire with a correct extinguisher or fire hose. Okay, so if the designated fire officer is not present, so someone quickly needs to take responsibility. So if you can do it, just take the responsibility. But if you cannot, then let any other people handle it where they can do it themselves. So first is to locate the source of the fire. Then locate any people, if there are any people trapped in the building or in the computer laboratory. Then third, remove all the people from the building, let them out. Then fourth, once outside, do a head count. So if you have 20 students in the computer laboratory, you need to count them all, so that you may not lose, or baka may naiiwan pa or may natrap pa ba. So that's why you need to have a head count. Then notify the authorities. So you need to make the authorities know that there is a fire happened in the computer laboratory or any establishment. So next is personal safety while working with PCs. So these are the things that is needed to while working in the PC. So computer equipment can be dangerous, and you or others can be injured or even killed if you don't follow proper safety guidelines when working along with PCs. So the following are some precautionary measures to take before working with any computer equipment. So first is to wear shoes with non-conductive rubber soles to help reduce the chance of being shocked or seriously injured in an electrical accident. Then next, do not work on components that are plugged into their power source. So if you hold onto the components which are being or plugged into the power source, it may cause electrocution on your body or on you. Then next is to do not remove expansion cards from computer when it is turned on. So do not remove expansion cards from the system unit if your computer is on, because uh, as I have said, it will cause an electrocution on you. And then remove jewelries when working inside any computer related equipment. So if you have any jewelries, where you wear jewelries, then if you suddenly touch it on um, grounded equipment, it may cause electrocution, and it will spread on your body, because jewelries is a conductor of electricity also. So be sure not to mix electronic components and water. So if you mix these two components, the electronic components and water, it may cause damage on the computer, and it will also cause an electrocution if you have the parts of your body is being connected with these electronic components and water being mixed. Okay, that's all for this part 1 discussion. Thank you, and God bless you for listening. And if you have any questions regarding on this topic, just contact me, your teacher, Alj Buhian. And if you still want to view this video again, you can access it on our LCMS or our Learning Content Management System at lcms.gaitf.com.